As exams approach, you open the book to read with enthusiasm and begin. But after an hour, you feel like your brain has shut off. You pick up your phone, just 1 minute, and lose an hour. You try again, and you fail. At the end of the day, you go to sleep feeling guilty that you accomplished nothing. And tomorrow, the same story. And the day after, the same story. When you search for a solution, every video says, do Pomodoro, make a schedule, force yourself. You try, you fail, and you say, I'm lazy. There's no hope for me. But the truth is, you're not lazy. The 25-minute Pomodoro might be the very thing destroying your focus. Your brain needs 20 minutes to enter the deep focus zone, and the Pomodoro stops you at exactly the moment your brain was working at its peak. It's like lighting a fire, and every time it starts to blaze, you come and put it out. The problem was never your willpower. The problem is that you're studying against your brain's natural rhythm, not with it. In this video, I'll give you why you give up after 2 days, how to get work done in cycles, how to gradually progress until 6 or 7 cycles become something easy for you. And at the end, I'll tell you how to deal with a dead day. Not motivational tips you forget after an hour, but a system built on the way your brain actually works. First of all, when your brain doesn't find a clear signal to start, it resists studying. Not because you're lazy, but because it doesn't know where to begin. The solution is simple. Fixed rituals you do every time you want to start a focus session. First, every distraction you have, close it, remove it, and clean your environment. You have a tab open? Close it. Your phone is in front of you? Put it away and hide it. The point is, any distraction, don't let it be in your line of sight. Second, write on a piece of paper a sentence specifying the topic and the duration of the session. Third, and one of the most important steps, take 3 deep breaths to calm the anxiety, then ask yourself a question. What's the last thing I remember from the last session? This reinforces the information and prepares your brain to receive new information. In the first week, these rituals will feel strange, but once you repeat them in every session, they become a habit you do automatically. When you start with these rituals, you'll run into a big problem. How long should you dedicate to each session? Some will say the 25-minute Pomodoro is the solution, but trust me, that's just a lie. Imagine lighting a fire, and every time the fire starts to blaze, you put it out. That's what happens to you when you use the Pomodoro, because your brain needs at least 20 minutes to start focusing, which means you're cutting your focus at the very moment you begin to concentrate. But do you know what duration is recommended by everyone? Not 50 minutes, not 25 minutes, 90 minutes. At first glance, 90 minutes will seem like a long time. And yes, you won't start with 5 or 6 cycles a day. Anyone who starts with 5 or 6 cycles of 90-minute Pomodoros will collapse after 3 days. That's normal. No ordinary person can handle that amount in 1 or 2 days. In reality, in my personal experience with these techniques, I knew I had to work in 90-minute blocks and I had to plan. And I also knew I wouldn't do 5 or 6 cycles at once. I knew this. But like a fool, I did 4 cycles. It was one of the worst deep work sessions. My brain couldn't absorb the massive amount of information because it wasn't trained. And this is what you won't see in most videos that talk about this point. Focus is a muscle that's built, not a skill that's acquired. So the person who starts with 7 or 8 hours of studying will stop after a few days. Not because they're a failure, but because they're trying to jump ahead. And that's what happens. And it happened to me and to you. But there's a method that will help you, and I've tried it. In the first week, commit to only 3 hours of work. Not because you're weak, but to prepare for the real grind. Every week or 2, add 1 cycle until you reach 10 hours of work. This gradual progression is what separates being someone who works hard and perseveres from being someone who's lazy. And every day, rate your focus from 1 to 10 and write down your notes, so you can avoid any obstacles in the coming days. In truth, everything is fine. But if you don't grasp this piece of information, you'll get discouraged over time. We are human. Humans get discouraged and make mistakes. There will be days when you'll wish you could just sit and lie down, that it would be better than working. When these thoughts come to you, run all this information through your mind. Imagine you didn't accomplish anything today and postponed it to tomorrow. How regretful will you be tomorrow, or after a month or a year? When you feel discouraged, try the 5-minute technique. Tell yourself, I'll study for just 5 minutes. And trust me, you'll keep going. And here's the secret. If you don't keep a simple piece of paper next to your desk to write down the thoughts and things you want to do, but don't want to leave the session for, you'll leave the session and won't complete any cycle. Trust me. In the end, the difference between being hardworking and being lazy is not intelligence. It's the method of work and the techniques, and peace.